Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Orion Tech Tips video. In today's video, we will be benchmarking Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Now, I bought this game right when it came out. I wanted to spend a bunch of time with it. I am now level 55 max level as of this morning, so I really wanted to get a feel of the game before I benchmark. This footage is a little bit older, so I don't think I was level 55 at the time. But I was still quite experienced with the game. I didn't have to wait like a month to make this video, but now I've got a feel of the game. I've also got a feel of what hardware is required to play the game. So, just like I did with my Black Ops 6 benchmark, you can watch that, I think that's just like 2 videos back, I played 2 games. One, which is the game that you're watching right now, I cranked everything to the max without ray tracing. Yes, you can do ray tracing, but I don't know why anyone would want to cut their frame rate in half just to get visuals in a fast-paced Twitch shooter. Most people are not like looking at the puddles and the reflections when they're in like a firefight. So I leave everything else on extreme, just disable the ray tracing, and then the next game I play, I crank everything down to the lowest. I play everything here at 1440p, so both games will be played at 1440p. Last time I did Black Ops 6, I turned on frame generation. Someone left a comment saying that he doesn't use frame generation, he just cranks everything to the lowest at 1440p. So that's exactly what I did with the second game. That makes sense because in maybe like a single player game like Cyberpunk, you would want frame generation. Though it does raise the frame rate, your input latency does not go down, so in a shooter it might not be the most helpful. So that's why I just left it off. Anyway, as usual, we are playing with an RX 7900 XTX, the Mercury magnetic air variants from XFX, to be specific, as well as the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. I did at least 2 like in-depth videos about the system. One of them is about 20 minutes, the other one is about 2 hours. The parts overview is about 20 minutes, the parts explained is about 2 hours. I go into great depth about every single part. So last video I made was about a month ago. I discussed the Black Ops 7 specifications. So I made that video before I bought the game, before I played it, and I said these don't sound right because Black Ops 6, as you remember, that's 2 videos back, it utilizes much more powerful hardware than Black Ops 7. So if you're interested, I made an in-depth video about this Black Ops 7 PC specifications. So max tier, that's competitive / 4K Ultra. I explained why that's a contradiction in terms, but for the CPU, i7 10700K or Ryzen 5 5600X. So it's basically, and then for the RAM, 16 gigabytes. As you can see here, we are, and I have nothing else running in the background, we're using 25.1 gigabytes of RAM, so clearly a lot more than 16 gigabytes. Can you play this game with 16 gigabytes? Probably, though I haven't tried it, and I don't really recommend it. I mean, I know we're in a RAM shortage now, but if you can afford to be buying these $70 plus titles for the basic edition, you should be able to afford like nice hardware to play the game on, and if you can't, well then maybe you should be saving up for nicer hardware. For the video card, 9070 XT, 4080 or 5070, it says, okay, I guess that's not crazy, but the crazy part is for the video memory, it's saying it only utilizes 16 gigabytes maximum, and as you can see, no, we are utilizing close to 20 gigabytes. So clearly, it will utilize more than 16 gigabytes. And also, for the SSD, it says that it only takes up 116 gigabytes. I'm actually going to open Steam here, sort by size on disk, and I can see it's actually 161.56 gigabytes. So clearly, a lot more than 116 gigabytes. Okay, anyway, I've taken 5 minutes to explain why those system requirements are incorrect. Come on, benchmarkers, you had one job and you still couldn't do that. But anyway, let's look at the frame rate. So I just want to give this disclaimer immediately, as I always do. I probably should have said this sooner. We are recording, so we are going to utilize more CPU for the performance. I actually did run a benchmark, so it does take a little bit of performance if you are recording. Unfortunately, I don't have like 2 machines to record the gameplay on. But anyway, I have the results right here. Without recording, maximum settings, 1440p benchmark tool to keep it consistent, 173 FPS, and lowest settings without recording, 153 FPS, again at 1440p, and with recording, 168 FPS, 1440p extreme, and 1440p lowest with recording, we're hitting 340 FPS. So just gauge, yes, we're using a little bit more performance to record. If you are recording or streaming, then expect this exact same results. If you are not recording or streaming, well then you can expect to gain a few extra FPS, though without a frame rate counter, you're probably not going to notice. So at 1440p extreme, we are utilizing, and I guess the game's over, all of the CPU. I wish AMD still allowed us to record the CPU wattage and the CPU clock speed. I can say we're running about 5.2 gigahertz and we're using about 50 watts, so nothing crazy. Tech Deals does it. I wish I wish I could do it as well, but AMD software doesn't allow it, though I could always switch my software if you guys wanted. CPU is about 80%. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to the second game, and I'm just going to show you guys that I am switching the settings from 1440p extreme to 1440p minimum, minus all of the AI shenanigans, because we don't want that messing with our input latency. Alright, we are now in a game 1440p lowest native resolution, no frame gen, and you can see our CPU is of course maxed out thanks to the 92 gigabytes of L3 cache, and our GPU is not. I don't see it hitting. It's in the like low 90s at most, but it's not getting to 100% or even the high 90s region. So this is probably the best that you will get until a more powerful gaming CPU comes out, preferably with more L3 cache. So our frame rates, it's now dipping into the 230s, high 220s, low 230s, 240s. So, I mean, if you do have a 240 hertz monitor, 280, even maybe 360, though you certainly will not be hitting that all the time, you will be fine. This is certainly the sweet spot. I would say, I mean, certainly you could get like a 540 hertz 1440p monitor, but unless you're playing Valorant, maybe Overwatch, maybe Counter-Strike, you're definitely not going to hit that. But anyway, you can even look at the GPU board power. You could see when it was maxed out, we were hitting 389 watts to be specific. But now we're not getting anywhere close to that. Okay, we just saw it was, what was that, 326? Not any higher than that. Low 300s, high 200s, and our CPU continues to be pegged at 100%. Meanwhile, our system RAM is 24.6, so we can call that 25 gigabytes. If you remember the Black Ops 7 system requirements at best for super ultra high-end gaming, it said it would only utilize 16, so clearly they're wrong. Benchmarkers, come on. You only had one job. I know I said that before, but I'm going to say it again. With the GPU memory, it's not that important. I mean, we're under 8 gigabytes, or about 6.5. So, I mean, like a 12 gig card would be fine. 8 gigabytes, yeah, it would be fine, though I do like to have a little bit of headroom, especially for high-end desktop gaming. It is different on a laptop because, I mean, your expectations are not as high, or should not be as high, considering you are extremely thermally limited. But yeah, that's pretty much CPU 70 degrees at most. Same thing with the GPU. And as I mentioned before, the GPU variant is the, what is it, the XFX Mercury Magnetic Air 3.5 slots. So it is 3 8-pin PCIe connectors. So that is like the best cooling performance, though I do have it in Fractal North. Not great, I'm just kind of desk constraint. And of course, the CPU cooler is the Noctua NHD15G2, not the LBC, just the classic G2, which is the most versatile variant. Anyway, that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop it in the comments section, and I will do my best to get back to you. I'm just going to leave the rest of the gameplay in here, so if you want to keep watching to look at the performance metrics, feel free to do that. So thank you so much for watching, and God bless.
Logging UAV mission request. Throwing symptoms. Target deleted. Body dropped. Circle closed. Steve, sniper has us. Victor marking care package LZ.
Hostile UAV established above.
Task Hellstorm against my target. Deploying assault pack.
Marksman.
They're falling apart. Go for the jugular. InfoSec team. You're everything the guild stands for.
Black Ops met their master.